Boom! It's Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you all had an amazing weekend. We are ready to roll. What's up? Oh, look at this. I think Evanito is here. Is he knocking? I think he's June, as always. Look at this. Jacob in the house. Look at this. Justin's in the house too. Good morning, Chris. Look at this. Mohammed's on. John's in. Everybody's here. Victor's here. Oscar's here. I got the new setup going. Oh, and there is a guy. Who's this?
What is up, YouTube?
Oh, how come I can't see you? He's there.
Now you should be able to. Yeah.
There.
I was backstage for a while on that.
How come
There's this third screen too.
Source.
Is there a ghost with us up here?
I don't know why it says add source. You know, that's gotta go. Why is that? No. Maximize, customize, remove. There. There's a little bit better. Boom. What's up, buddy? How's the weekend?
It was good. I had a good time, relaxing. Weekend. We got a lot of stuff on the calendar this week, so I'm excited.
We do have a lot of stuff on the calendar. I'm actually looking at. Oh no, I didn't. I'm looking at my slideshow. I'm like, oh, I had a duplicate slide. That's all right. I think we're good. We're good. Yeah. I was watching this weekend. I'm like, oh, are we gonna do this? And I'm looking at, everybody in the servers like, well, is it the dip buy on crypto? I'm like, I mean, nothing's cheap. Like nothing was cheap. And I was like, well, it'll be obvious to me if it is. And I think it became obvious actually over the weekend, but this was my thumbnail. I'm like, who else than the great Tom Lee, but I tried my best to make the little crypto eyeballs, but with the little Ethereum behind it. Cause ETH on a ripper for sure today. I mean, Bitcoin, it's great. 122, I think I saw over the weekend, but for sure Ethereum, I think is the one that's in focus right now. Look at these guys still going at it. Buttermilk.
Hey, Paper. Sorry about that. I lagged, but I am back.
It's all good. Happy Monday. Beautiful Monday. Jasonistas. Mixed madness.
I used to hate Monday until we started doing these live streams. Now it's my favorite day of the week.
Monday? Yeah, I'm not a big trader on Monday. Oh, look at this. The crew is definitely in the house. Your crew in the house too. Justin City. Tessie to the moon. Tessie's a big one today. It's a big watch. It's over a pretty key level. Maybe a little bit extended. I mean, well, it's over the first key level. I think it could still be a little choppy, but there's and Heather. Kwame, dude. I think this is Kwame. If that's Kwame, you better get back in the server, dude. Zach. Man, the whole crew. Everybody's showing up. And X, for sure. And if you're not subscribed to both channels, Stock Market News and Paper Gains, please hit the subscribe button and the like for sure. ADD, yeah, for sure. Oh man. But anyways, let's get to it. So if you're new to the channel, every Monday, what we do, I kind of like take a timeout on Mondays, just around the lunch hour, right about this time. I think Monday, here's the deal. The market does what it wants to do on Mondays to me. It doesn't always stick. It's kind of like the first hour of trading, but for the week, it's like, Monday's kind of like a knee jerk at the market level to me. Sometimes it sets a top, sometimes it sets a bottom, but it's mostly just that first knee-jerk reaction, kind of follow through from Friday. And then during the lunch hour, right about now, everything kind of settles out. And then we find out what's real and what's not as we go through the rest of the week. So right here, right now, this is the time to kind of take a step back, kind of relax, see what's going on, what happened over the weekend, what do we have to look forward to this week from both an earnings perspective, an economic calendar, and any other headlines that are important that might affect our trades for the week. So with that said, what we want to do is kind of look over what happened last week. Evan's here. We're going to take a look at his Twitter, or X rather. He's got a little post for us that he does every week, and we'll kind of see what catalysts we have on deck. And I do a little recap also for the week. So what stood out to me, couple things. Evan, feel free to hop in whenever you have a chance. But U.S. service sector, we got some economic data last week. So the service sector nearly stagnates as employment contracts. I don't know if you guys have heard this at all, but the word stagflation has started to pop up again. You may not have heard it for a while. If you're new to trading, if you're really new to trading, you probably haven't ever heard this, but stagflation is a dirty word when it comes to the markets. You don't really want to hear that. That's like high inflation and low growth, and it's not good from an equity perspective. There's only one good trade in a stagflationary environment, and that is gold. Unfortunately, there's other headlines that happened during the week. It was like this gold bar tariff, which I actually put a long gold trade on last week. And I didn't even realize that there was like this headline on gold bar tariffs or gold tariffs, which I was like, that's stupid. Probably like this. I mean, one of the craziest things I'd heard in a while. Had I realized that there was a pop in gold on some tariff rumors, I mean, I guess I probably would have closed it, but I don't know. So gold's probably going to go through a bit of a pullback right now. It's going through a bit of a pullback right now. But if you're long gold, I wouldn't be deterred. I'm not deterred right now. I just feel like it might be a buying opportunity. I like gold as a hedge in general. Maybe more so than puts on SPY, even though they're like, oh, the VIX is low, blah, blah, blah. At least for now, because I don't see any major breaks in the price action just yet. But gold on its own does look like it could break out anyways. And if we do have this stagflationary kind of commentary or weakness in the labor market and potential growth while we're dealing with high inflation, I mean, that's like the trade anyways. So that's on the radar right now. Trade deficit plummets on sharp drop in imports. I think, again, just the trade war type headlines. It could be just how we digest the tariffs right now. The biggest headline, I think, of the week was really this Apple deal. So Apple to announce a fresh $100 billion net in U.S. investments. Apple goes on like a 15%. Go ahead.
We are one of the few who were talking about Apple in a bullish way for the last months or weeks or whatever it was. Yeah. We've been doing some trades. Yeah. What a great week last week. What a beautiful week.
So to me, in our group, I'm like, all right. So I watch CNBC too, and I'm like, okay. So the talking heads for day, like from day one, it's like a 4 or 5% move on Apple day one, and I'm like, I forgot who it was, but like immediately CNBC, whoever, they're like, oh, it's gonna pull it back. It's gonna pull it back, and I'm like, dude, first of all, a multi-trillion-dollar company doesn't pop 5% overnight, like on nothing. Not even overnight, like in the middle of the day. That's like, that takes serious volume. And then overnight it follows through another like 3%. I'm like, what are you gonna pull this all back? Like on I don't know how many trillion is Apple right now? It's
3.2, 3.3, something like that.
Yeah, so call it $3 trillion, right? So 3.39. Call it $3 trillion at the time. $3 trillion market cap doesn't pop 10% at the time in 2 days on nothing. Here we are about 15%.
Busting through some key levels there. That 215 level, which was
huge.
10 times.
Yeah, so 215 was a big level. I think it's about 212, give or take for me. From a technical perspective, I mean, if we see that again from a pullback perspective, that's definitely going to be your key support from here. But yeah, it was by far the biggest laggard. But even still, it was just that, like, dude, it was so, stocks make the biggest moves when they go from absolute crap or shit to just okay. And I think that's kind of what you're seeing. It was, to me, had nothing good priced into it. Not only does it have nothing good priced into it, it had a lot of bad priced into it at the same time. So it's not that it has anything good priced into it now. It's just, to me, it's just having some of the bad that was priced into it come out of it. So I think all we saw was a little bit of the shorts come undone off of Apple. So you could call it a short squeeze if you want to. Maybe it takes a bit to digest that, but I don't think it's going lower than it was. To me, that's my point of view. And from here, so if some of the China like risk does come off the table, well, there's an opportunity for some good to get priced into it. And now we're on the up and up. That to me, that's all I see. So, all right. So some of the bad gets taken off, and that leaves some room for possible good to get priced in. Anyways, so that's Apple. I think, yeah, 228, like barely finally out of the trade war zone. Finally, I think it was 225. About 225 was the trade war zone, just barely over that right now. I think we're at 228. But holding that, and I think we just tested the trade war. I think this morning we tested the top of the trade war zone today and bounced right off of it. So that this morning was actually a pretty crucial test also. Stagflation concerns, again, more stagflation like headlines ripple through Wall Street as tariffs hit. Governor Bowman looking for 3 rate cuts. I heard that this morning due to the labor conditions and slower economic growth. So this is all about the last week's. We talked about the revisions. So massive amount of revisions last week. This is all due to that. I think that those revisions changed a lot of the outlooks, like across the board for everything. You know, after Trump fires the head of the labor board, I think the timing was weird. He probably gets what he wants now, but yeah, a lot of the Fed governors and probably Powell too. The governors are probably going to be like, look, now, because it was always about the labor conditions, labor. Are the labor markets weak? How are they looking? And they were looking good. They were looking strong until that massive revision came through. And at this point, it's like, well, you can't really say that the labor market's looking good anymore now that these revisions have come through. Now the labor market looks like crap. And we're about to get CPI this week, which is going to be a massive flippening, if you will. It's a possible flippening on the market. So if labor looks crap per the revisions, and we get, here's the thing about stagflation. If the labor market, which now looks kind of bad based on these revisions, and we get CPI this week, and if CPI, which is the price index, basically current inflation, if that comes in hot, well, that's stagflation, those two things put together. So that's where gold would actually rip from here to the upside. And I think any tariff concerns on this gold thing, that taco, because this is the taco smell on gold right now. That's what's pulling it down. Conversely, if inflation's not bad, I think that there's like a very possible IWM really strong bounce out there, possibly. But anyways, we'll have to see. So Bowman's looking for 3 rate cuts this year. That's not priced into the calendar right now. And then Governor Waller, Kashkari, and Daley all want rate cuts also. So that's what I got. Did I miss anything that was hitting your radar on the economic front, Evan?
On the economic front, no, not really. Last week was a lot of earnings. So
that's kind of light on the earnings front this week, as far as I could tell. I believe so.
AMD was an interesting one. Palantir. There was a lot of names, but on the macro front, I think you hit most of them.
Yeah, this is just kind of we're the same spot we were last week on the seasonality front. This is earnings. So quick update on the Dow 30 components. This is all I'm tracking right now. We only have one Dow 30 component reporting this week. So far, the update, we've had 23 components report so far this week, or so far this quarter. 20 beaten, 3 have missed. The third that missed was Cat. Disney and McDonald's beat. And that's actually all I did so far. So I just went ahead and pulled, I actually had to drop down to 10 billion for earnings. We just, Monday.com, what is this barn? I don't even know what this is. Oklo today after the close. What did Monday do today?
AMC also reported earnings this morning. Too small though.
Is it? Yeah.
Up 2.5 AMC. It was
up so Monday, no dice. Oh, I saw him. Monday dropped a little bit.
27%. Goddamn, Monday's down.
Yeah. My thing is lagging a bit. Monday.com. Oh, ASTS and Oklo tonight. These are 2 big ones. And then on in the morning, and Circle.
That's their first earnings, I believe.
Circle? Yeah, so these are interesting. So on, Circle, C Limited for the China people. TME, I think that's also China, Tencent Music. And then, okay, so we have Circle tomorrow morning, CoreWeave tomorrow afternoon. This is a really weird cult stock. I don't know if it's just an emit group. Yeah.
I've never heard of VG.
Really? I think it's just an emit group. Ooh, that's not looking good, guys. What's going on? I don't know if is it emit? Who's on VG?
I have not heard him talk about it too much.
But no, not emit. Like who brought it? They'll know. The crew will know.
Yeah, no, I've never seen this one before.
I think this is
construction of liquefied natural gas.
Yeah, it's natty. It's a nat gas play. But apparently, I think it was told to me. It was explained to me as like a 10-year hold. Chris Patel. Thank you, guys. Okay, so Chris Patel. Chris. So it's a Chris Patel. Chris and Matt. June. I trust June for sure. June knows. But so Chris. Yeah. Chris is in the server though, so you guys can @ Chris Patel. But yeah, VG is a long-term play. But it was explained to me as like a 10-year hold. Anyways, so I wouldn't even look at the earnings. Like one earnings isn't going to be a big thing. Coherent. Cisco is like, dude, I feel like Cisco is like
running.
But it's always like 45. Oh, it's not $45. I gotta eat my words right there for a second. Whoa. Okay. I was about to say it's always $45. Well, actually, I did say that out loud. And then here it is at like 70 something. Is that? Wait a second.
Not quite all-time highs.
How is this not newsworthy if it gets to...
That'd be insane. The .com bubble high?
Yeah. Oh, it's real close, man.
All right, I'm gonna get a post up just for you right now.
I'll just say this: if it gets there, what is that? $82. How many percent away? Dude. Okay, so Cisco approaching.
Dude, when I looked at market cap though, Cisco's market cap was 500 billion in 2000. So it's actually still quite a ways off the market cap. There must have been a dilution event or something.
All right, well, it's 13% off. Hey, look, how would you want to post that? Congratulations. If you've held Cisco for the last 25 years, you're now only down 13%. Is that bad? I used to have a buddy.
Is that bad?
I used to have a buddy, or I have a buddy that worked at Cisco. And I asked him once, like, what do you do with your shares? He's like, I insta sell them. And I was like, oh, God. I don't hate Cisco, though. I mean, it's just, I don't know. $70 was key. It's run a bit. I don't know. They're like, I feel like Cisco's going to be like CRM, where it's like they're pretty saturated. Growth by acquisition. I mean, they are not pretty. They're 100% saturated. Growth by acquisition. That's it. Low key, not the Marvel character, but low key, I feel like Deere is going to be way undervalued here. Low key.
Well, didn't Caterpillar struggle?
Caterpillar
so it might have moved off of it, but you know, it could be tough.
Dude, something's up with my internet. Hopefully I don't glitch.
It might be mine. If that's why you're saying it, it might be mine.
No. Oh no, it's not. No, Deere's up here. It's like consolidation break. Deere's up there. It did break out finally. Look at that. It finally made it. No, it's in an active uptrend, so still, it's in an active uptrend, so probably goes no matter what. Even if it doesn't have a great earnings, it probably goes higher eventually. And then Tapestry. NetEase. New core. Hey, Matt, dude,
people do love new.
Yeah, people love new. It's not mine, but like I'm not into a whole lot of international. I mean, this one though, this thing has been sideways for like ever. The good thing is that even though the technicals don't look good, the earnings can change this pretty quickly. It just looks sideways consolidation. Yeah, technicals. If this was just a technical chart, I would say this is not looking good, or it's just like at support right now. But yeah, earnings can flip this around or push it down lower. One of the two, either way. Yeah, Applied Materials though, that thing. This thing feels like stuck in the mud for forever. It's no LRCX, that's for sure. It tried though. It's been trying. It's coming out. It's trying to come out. All right, so it's a pretty like mellow. Aside from these two high flyers tonight, and then Circle and CoreWeave tomorrow, this is going to be a big mover. I'll just say this: CoreWeave has not really reported earnings before. I think this is going to be the first time that CoreWeave reports earnings.
Circle for sure is its first one.
Yeah, so both of these, I believe CoreWeave also. Yeah, so 1 and 2 Circle. So So the options chain, the options chain cannot appropriately estimate volatility on either one of these. It's just impossible to. So it's gonna be a gamble. Anyways, so that's where we are. I think this is I have last week, global ISM services. It was pretty light on the calendar last week. Do you want to hit yours? Let's see.
Ebony, roll through it.
Do you want to share?
Let's scroll down to the bottom of this one and get to the market watch macro calendar first.
Or you want to do it?
You can do it. Just go down to the macro calendar first, and then we can kind of go through the day by day.
Speaking of, wait a second.
There's a lot. We'll talk through it. I promise. Wait. But I want to go to that market watch calendar first.
No, I want to do this. What was Kava? I saw something. What about Kava?
Yeah, earnings at the top. So go back to the earnings hub.
Kava has earnings?
Kava maybe has under a $10 billion market cap.
Yeah, they do.
Wait, so 9.85, just under. Go back to the earnings hub and filter it by popular. No, go back. Change the 10 billion filter and change it to popular. Cool. Kava should be on there now. Yeah, there it is. Tuesday after the close.
Oh my goodness.
So what else did we miss on here? NNE, that's one. That's Thursday after the close.
Guys, you didn't tell me Kava.
Truthfully, I didn't know.
I almost missed this, baby.
Paper gains. I bought one share of Kava. You know what I wanted to add to my watch list? You want to know what my average share cost was?
84, 80?
144.35.
Oh, you better average down.
Yeah, I know. It's just one share to watch it, but I think I bought the top. Actually.
We're not doing that. The Kava.
That's why I listen to you, Paper.
NNE. I don't know. All right, what am I going to do with Kava? I mean, it's a flyer. Kava's a flyer. I can't believe I almost missed that. Okay, so tomorrow. All right, okay, fine. But I'm glad I saw. See, if I didn't see this.
We'll go through all this, I promise. But go to the market watch part. It makes it easier.
Too. Come on, this is important. All right. Make sure I come back.
Yeah. So click into that.
All right, this one?
Photo. Yeah, this is the one that I like. It is easy. One place. Tuesday, CPI. We're watching out for that.
Okay, so Tuesday CPI. So forecast.
Some noise, Fed speakers, monthly budget. We're not going to move off of it.
So it's CPI. So previous and so CPI forecast is expected to come in. Really? Half or 30% lower than prior? Is this month over month? Yeah, so July's headline inflation is expected to come in 30% lower than last month. See, did we not get retail sales just now?
Friday morning is when retail sales are. Look down.
Yeah, well, this is bothering me right now.
Well, look at the year-over-year number as well. That ticks up a little bit, 2.8 versus 2.7. Now, a smart person might be like, okay, how does the month-over-month go down and the year-over-year go up? Don't think real questions, idiot. I have no idea, but
no, it's because
it's like with year-over-year comps.
It wouldn't. It would have to because no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't come down because we're gonna lose a 0.2. It would be the same. That is, yeah. So the year over year would be the same. Anyways, core. Okay, so core is expected to go up. Okay, so headline down, core up. Fine. And then core year over year way up. Yeah, core way up.
So they have the consensus at 3, so they have it a little closer.
That's fine. But yeah. So headline down, core up. So I guess these will balance out. So anyways, if the core comes in light, if both of these come in light, well, we're probably rippy. But if both of them come in hot, this is so Tuesday, just note Tuesday, that's tomorrow morning before the open, everything can change. So this is why Monday is kind of maybe not going to matter that much. But tomorrow morning before the open, these numbers are going to change everything for the week. And really, our week is going to start tomorrow morning. So today, I'm not so like, it's not that big of a deal, but really this week is going to start after we get our CPI reading. All right. So then Wednesday, we get monthly budget, couple of Fed speakers. Wednesday, nothing.
We'll hear more of the Fed speakers. Yeah. Thursday, PPI. There's your big dog.
PPI I like, but look, it's all about CPI. So CPI is the market's favorite economic data point. It's not mine, but it's the market's favorite one. Look, if I were to say, hey, look, NFP is my favorite one. I think it's the one that sets the tone for the whole month. If there was a second most impactful Rambler, yeah, absolutely. So the reason I do these weekly trade plans on Monday is because honestly, I mostly just chill. Ask anybody in my group. Most of the time, I just chill on Mondays, anyways, because Monday's a bit of a knee jerk reaction in general. But yeah, definitely this week, the week is going to reset tomorrow morning. So for sure, tomorrow morning after we get our CPI data, that's when the real week starts. But if there was a second most important data point for the month, is going to be CPI behind NFP. That helps your trend. Thursday, initial jobless claims or jobless data, and then PPI. Definitely important, but not as impactful as CPI. Definitely not. So yeah. And then we get retail sales on Friday, to your point, Evan. So if which is weird because like if CPI does come in light, here's the thing. If CPI comes in light and then retail sales, which this retail sales number is going to capture Prime Day or Prime Week, right? So this one was Prime Week. Yeah. If CPI comes in light and then we get Prime Week in retail sales, that's hot and heavy. It might even reverse itself. Who knows? The market's fickle.
Also on Friday, though,
60,000 views on this, dude. Don't you? Isn't that like your average? Shouldn't this be? Can you guys give this like a like and a retweet?
No, it's because that's deep in the thread.
Oh
that's
shit!
actually
My bad.
you clicked into.
Let me not do this. Let me. My.
Wait, but go. That's also not even my post. Wait, go back into that though. Friday is the also Michigan consumer sentiment data was the last thing on there at 10 a.m. Eastern. It's the preliminary one. You're good. So that like the market likes to move on that one.
Yeah, this is like a blip in the radar though. I'm just saying CPI Tuesday tomorrow morning. That's the big one. That's the big one.
All right, let's go back up and look. There are some really interesting stuff this week on the Catalyst Watch on that Monday.
Dizzy right now. There you go. There's a real oven number. Okay.
Yeah. She cooks. This thread cooks. On this Monday, though, the things that are standing out the most to me, we could talk about the volatility watch, but the IPO watch, that bullish IPO, they have that listed on here. It has actually already upsized today. I believe they're going to get the final pricing for that for that IPO launch is tomorrow, and it should begin trading around the middle of day Wednesday.
Okay. What is bullish?
Crypto exchange type company, Peter Thiel backed on there.
Okay.
I think the valuation. I think they're now looking to raise closer to $1 billion at a slightly higher valuation. So I think even those numbers need to be updated from this morning.
Oh, they're
companies that are doing X dividends.
Yeah, they're gonna pump Apple for like the 10-cent dividend is what it is. 26 cents. Right?
Yeah, but also when stock, whatever. And then the 365 event too, which we haven't talked about too much. I wonder if we get any AI headlines from that. Right. I didn't quite see a CEO keynote, but I'm sure there will still be some kind of releases in the Microsoft AI direction.
Yeah. Just looking at it. We'll see. That one's kind of on edge today. All right, so that's today. Mañana. Oh.
This is Wednesday.
Okay.
We can still look at Wednesday. Let's look at Wednesday over here.
I got to go in order.
Yeah, you're right. Go in order. I just wanted to make you feel good. Notable companies to report. There was CoreWeave, Circle, Kava,
Rigetti.
Whatever.
That wasn't even on the list.
I have. It was there.
I just don't know their logo.
Once we switch it to popular. The 90-day tariff pause between U.S. and China, that is the last day of it. Now, I have no idea what's actually happening.
Unless it's extended.
No one knows, but it's got to be extended. It's going to be.
Unless it's not.
Unless it's not, but I think it will.
Yeah.
There are a couple events as well on that day you could see. Like if you see a lot of the times they'll either update guidance or they will just, random stuff will come up and you're like, okay, where was this from? A lot of times it's from these events, which are sometimes closed doors. Sometimes it's going to find them. But yeah, there's a Deutsche Bank transportation conference. There's a JP Morgan auto conference.
Yeah. I mean,
watch out for those.
I guess these are interesting because UPS is just so down in the dumps. It's crazy. I mean, just so epically in the dumpster. It just blows my mind sometimes. I don't know if you've seen that chart, but that thing is just it's like $80. And that's...
Yeah, it's been on the 52-week low list a little bit when I've been going through that.
I mean, we're talking about a stock that was $230 and it's $84. It's just crazy.
You're live on Twitch too?
I guess so.
Interesting. Nice. But yeah, these conferences definitely can move stock. A lot of times if there's a CFO talking there, they'll give updated guidance.
So
Wednesday was interesting though. Mercado Libre holding an investor event, Arista Networks participating in a JP Morgan.
Yeah, Arista was like
conference.
What a trade, man. What from a trade perspective, yeah. Arista, I took the trade down. I'm very tempted because it's holding, man. This thing, I think it goes sideways for a while, but we'll see. It will need something new to get excited again. But trade complete. But I mean, huge move. We'll see. In Cisco.
Yeah, that was the biggest stuff. Most of the interesting stuff. EA will release EA Madden 26 for all you sports fans. There's at least a couple of you in there that will enjoy that. And then this is actually really big. 13F season is here.
Where is that?
Now Friday. Right there, 7 a.m. It is the deadline for investment managers and hedge funds to disclose their holdings as of the end of Q1. Now, that should say Q2. And I believe it's actually at 4 p.m. So maybe you want me to double check this for you. But 13
Thursday.
When is the deadline for the 13Fs? August 14th. And generally, so Warren Buffett is going to put his out at 4:05 p.m. on Thursday is when Warren Buffett's going to put his. Ackman, a lot of them are going to go like 4 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Unless, that's when it's going to be. That's big. And there's a couple trickling out the days before. Like there's been some stocks moving off of that, but expect a lot of them on Thursday.
And we get the updates on Thursday? Or Thursday?
Yeah, and it's their holdings as of the end of Q2. So it's their holdings as of June 30th. We get it updated on Thursday, a lot of them. expect those literally. They'll be throughout the day. Like Burry will be at like 2 p.m. Eastern, but Buffett's at 4:05. Ackman's at like 4:30. A lot of the ones you care about are 4 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern on that day.
Dude, SBET has earnings on Friday.
What do they say on earnings? I'm excited for my Tom Lee earnings call. If you ask me,
I mean,
BM
what is SBET gonna say on earnings?
Oh,
I don't know. I mean,
what does Michael Saylor say on earnings?
That's what I'm saying. It's like he says there's nothing. Like it's a nothing burger. So I'm like, oh, nothing to say here. But I didn't even realize that they were gonna have earnings. I guess it would just be weeklies anyway. So, but I would not. It's right. I'm not really trading SBET right now, anyways. It's more BMNR. That is the one. DFD. Is that another crypto treasury? DFD. DeFi development. I don't know what that is. Heard of it. I do not know what that is.
I could believe it being a Solana treasury.
A Solana treasury. Did you hear about what's the Galaxy? Galaxy that's the Ripple treasury.
That's the thread though. There's nothing else really. We've looked at it all.
Cool.
No US Treasury auctions coming up. Like we were talking about the US China thing, there will be a lot of trade talks, but I don't know. It's when you put a schedule on him, have fun.
Crazy. All right, guys, we got one more to do here.
One thing also, Russia, Ukraine. There apparently is a meeting that might be happening this week. It seems like oil, gas, etc. could be impacted on that. So you maybe want to keep that on watch.
Russia. Wait, what?
Trump is apparently meeting with Putin in Alaska this week.
Did he not?
They had a call. Witkoff went to Russia, and then now they're kind of talking. They're going to meet, but there is an in-person meeting between Trump and Putin scheduled for Friday in Alaska.
In Alaska?
Yeah. Well, Trump actually today said he's going to Russia, but it was reported that it's going to be in Alaska. So unless there's a sale coming, we think it's going to be Alaska.
Oh, shit. That's for sure. I think I'm going to be... He said that. He said he wanted to keep oil.
What's that? Whatever that oil game, VG, we were talking about earlier.
Maybe that's natural gas.
I would still think it would be impacted.
I will say oil had a really rough week last week. I feel like it's at the lows of that like trading range. So I kind of defer to like long oil just as a trader, but we shall see. I don't know. All right. Well, we gotta get to Miss Cleo, guys. So, are you ready, Evan? Your favorite part of the show.
I'm excited.
Everyone's favorite segment. All right. Well, without further ado, let's hit it. Ready? All right, boys and girls, we are here. It is now time for everyone's. See my mouse? I'm blaming Evan. All right. I made it. I actually kept last week's on there because I was like, I think she did okay. But here we go. This is how this works. So we get from our good friend, Miss Cleo. Do we have a name for her? Yeah, I like Miss. We're going to stay with Miss Cleo. Miss Cleo. She gives us our tarot reading for the week. Tarot, by the way, if you didn't know, is the T that stands. It's the T in TA stands for tarot, and this is how it works. We get a theme card for the week. Sorry, it's a little stretched out. Theme card for the week is up top, and then every day of the week we get another card. I did bring last week's just in case, if you were wondering. And so last week we had this thing where it looked like we were running away from the battlefield. Evan, by the way, thought that we were going towards the battlefield. I thought there were some gold tones. Turns out that there were for a second. But I'm looking here and I'm not seeing any more gold tones, so I'm a little bummed. But I'm actually seeing a little bit more silver. I'm not sure that that's a thing. But anyways, maybe if I look at this, Evan, so we got the swords last week and we're going away and we're now it looks like we've made landfall. Do you notice that? It looks like we've made landfall and we're taking the swords and someone's taking them off to battle, possibly. So now we are on Monday and we've drawn the Wheel of Fortune. This Wheel of Fortune is who knows what the hell. That's for sure. Wheel of Fortune is nobody knows. It's literally what it sounds like. Nobody knows. Could be good, could be bad. Sometimes good, sometimes not. I think that's what the second card is too. I don't even know. I think that the world. No.
It looks pretty good. Looks
what is
nice.
The world? I think the world is good. Does anybody know? Yeah, T stands for tarot in TA, Heather. Absolutely. But I think the world is good, is a good card.
I mean, my first thought looking at that is good.
I think it's good. The Wheel of Fortune is literal Wheel of Fortune. And then I think the world's a good card. And then Queen of Swords, this is a CPI. No, tomorrow's CPI. Tomorrow is CPI. So this is a good card. Ms. Cleo's giving us a good card for tomorrow. Oh, dude. All right. Well, she's going to give us a little debrief here. But as I'm seeing this right now, it seems to me that she's giving us a good card for the CPI day. It's what it looks like. And then Queen of Swords, I think is a digestion card. Okay, but then the Tower. So we know the Tower card. The Tower card is some shenanigans. The Tower card is the shenanigans card. Tower card is definitely the shenanigans card. I remember this. Either
PPI day, PPI initial jobless claims.
Bingo, bango, bongo. You got it. Okay, so CPI, PPI, CPI, PPI, CPI, PPI. This is how this goes down. CPI, PPI. They do that too. So CPI, what day is retail sales? Friday or Thursday?
What'd you say? PPI is Thursday. CPI
No,
is
retail.
Friday.
Okay. All right. Well, then Friday comes to balances out. All right. So I'm trying to digest this here. So, okay. So the world CPI and then the Tower. So the Tower, I remember this. The Tower is like you've gone too far, too fast, and then you fall off. So we've gone marching into battle. So maybe Evan was right. We've made landfall. We take our swords. We go into battle. Spin the Wheel of Fortune.
We're on the same page. That first card, that card for the week that's after a battle. To me, under his leg, there's some blood there.
This guy?
That is either maybe it's a Pyrrhic victory, maybe that's the blood of your enemies. But that I don't know, man. That feels like a battle was fought
over the weekend.
You know, maybe we won, but at what cost?
Okay.
At what
All
cost?
Right. Well, over the weekend, crypto won the battle. That's for sure. And then, I mean, Wheel of Fortune, the world, Queen of Swords, and then you've gone to the top of the tower, but you get knocked off. And then Ace of Pentacles, I think this is going to be like some kind of balance day. But for sure, the Tower, either you've already gone too far and you get knocked off, or you go high, or you continue the ripper to the upside. You don't really know, one of the two. You've already gone too far and you get knocked off, or you continue the ripper and you get knocked off. So enough of my conjecture here, or prognostication rather. So this is what Miss Cleo says for the week. Sorry, guys. The morning dump was a lighter shade of brown. Good sign for CPAC. So 7 of Swords. We have the 6 to 7 of the same suit, indicating a possible series here, and therefore continuation. This is a particular. See, I was trying to think it was good. But then she comes out with this trap shenanigan. It is August. August is like a month of traps. It's the trappy price action month. This particular card is a trap card, suggesting. I thought the world was good, dude. I thought it was good. Suggesting whatever, punishing price action for those on the wrong side. Okay, this is the weekly card. Swords cut both ways. So we may see some slit ankles. What? We may see some slit ankles. A final interesting note is that the card prefers continuity when following another minor card, which would imply a green week. Okay. Just breathe. Just going to breathe. All right. So Monday today. See how she did. This card can bring mean reversion, but it's only about 60% chance. 60% is good chance. On the days it doesn't, it usually brings it on an intraday timeline, meaning lots of back and forth action that keeps people guessing. It rarely trends, so there's not a lot of harm to be had if you're on the wrong side, if you're in the wrong trade. These are usually tough days to trade, though. I don't think it was that tough today. So,
Suck it, Miss Cleo.
Anyways, Tuesday the world. This card signals. This card signals completion, and since it's coming before the most common pivot day. What do you mean, most common pivot day? This card signals completion, and since it's coming before the most common pivot day, it could very well set up a final move for the week. Final move? What? Continuity is very likely. Treat this like a trend day. Oh, yeah, trend day. And trade momentum. I mean, unless it's a gap up, guys, because momentum could just be to the side. If it gaps too far, I'll just let you know. If it fails to manifest by mid-morning, then bail. Yeah, that's what I would say. It'll probably be a gap, but if it gaps too far, momentum could just be to the side. That's all she wrote? That's all she's got to say? Ava's disappointed. What? She said. Yeah. This card signals completion. So this is a gap day. It is a gap day. And since it's coming before the most common pivot day, it could very well set up a final move for the week. Continuity is very likely. Treat this like a trend day and trade momentum. If there's momentum. And if momentum fails to manifest by mid-morning, bail for the day. I mean, if it gaps, I would agree. Fair enough, I guess. Disappointing, but fair. There you have it. That's all she says. Wednesday is very short, Miss Cleo, for Tuesday. For a very cool card, she's very short. Wednesday, Queen of Swords. This card, oh, man. I don't know, Evan. I don't know. My read just feels like it was a little off so far. This card loves to cut people to shreds. Are you reading? The Queen loves to cut people to shreds when they try to pick a direction. So gap, stall. Yeah. The gap day for sure. I think she's talking about like IV, like burn, sideways. You ever heard the term death by 1,000 paper cuts when it comes to options? This is what I'm reading.
Yeah. Chop week. Go on vacation, guys.
When they try to pick because she says when they try to pick a direction. So be prepared for lots of chop. However, it's a high chance of trending after a flat day. She's like, this is how she does, right? So don't get in the way of that. Yeah, right. We're watching the dominant energy on Tuesday. So like if Tuesday, here's the thing. So she's saying if Tuesday's a gap and go, meaning if it gaps and then continues, it's possible there's a continuation. If it's not a continuation, then, so don't get in the way of that. We're watching the dominant energy on Tuesday, not necessarily the color of the candle. So, right. Sell pressure, there has a high chance of bringing green pressure here. Sell pressure there has a high chance of bringing green pressure here, and vice versa. Oh, so reversal Wednesday. If it's red Tuesday, possibly reverse Wednesday, etc. Okay. Plan a dull day if following a trend day. I think I understand it, but it's not super clear. Thursday is the tower. All right. So the tower is pretty routine for you by now. It will either rally hard and build the tower, or if we've already moved, tear it down. It tends to rally when struggling with sellers during the previous few sessions. It tends to rally when struggling with sellers during the previous few sessions and fades when following a big rally. Either way, the tower must fall. So if we get a rally, try to cash out by late session so you don't get caught in any after close or overnight selling. Hey, she gave you the lifeline there. Friday is the Ace of Pentacles. Friday sets up to be a choppy mean reversion day. A flat close is very probable. She's definitely saying take Friday off.
Dude, why are we here? We should, no, honestly, this entire week she said just
basically. This could set up
I think Miss Cleo might be on vacation. I mean, it might have, shortened some of the stuff. Been like, all right, I don't want to miss anything.
If you read last week too, which I actually still have last week's on this deck, she's basically said take last week off, and she's basically saying take this week off. My gut is she's going to say take next week off, and she probably says take the month of August off. But
at some point we do have NVIDIA earnings. I think the week after next, which I bet you she'll be like
maybe. Victor, there will be no rate cuts this year, bro. Friday sets up to be a choppy mean reversion day. A flat close is very probable. This could set up continuity on Monday, which is next week, but we'll need to see next week's cards first. Yeah, that's cool, Miss Cleo. Way to rain on everyone's parade. What did she say? Yeah, so all right, this was last week's. Chop seems to be the theme of the week, but we do have some end of week trend. I mean, yeah, that's it. So, moral of the story, it was AltCoin August. That's what I got, boys and girls. But anyways, appreciate you, Evan. I will do a couple. I want to do a couple of these charts. I do want to check the indices first. I think it's always first and foremost. Usually I'm going to start on a 30-minute a 30-minute chart. I'm just going to set this up really quick and just kind of take a look at where we are. I think so this was August NFP here in this little box. Right there. For those that are kind of new to NFP and definitely any of those that are not in the server, what I'll do right now is, and let me just make sure, TradingView has been messing up. This is what I'm talking about. I don't know why every single, TradingView has been defaulting, and I've saved this a million times, my charts to log scale. And dude, and I keep.
By the way, Trump just put out a tweet, a statement from Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Gold will not be taxed.
Of course not. That would mess up like the world shenanigans. Anyways, what I just did was I took like a fib extension right now. And the reason I'm doing this here is because this is the August NFT box. We're clearly well over it. The reason I'm using extensions at this point in time is because we don't have any NFP levels above it. So it's a little bit harder to do this. But what we can do is we can just do our typical extensions. And where we're sitting right now is a 1x extension, almost to the penny. You can see that here of that NFP level. Quite frankly, this would be more or less like target acquired. If you want to go 3x, that would be up here, 645, and then, but really like the 618 kind of extension would be right in here, 642 to 645. That's from an NFP perspective. Remember, CPI is going to be a big pivot. From a weekly perspective, and I'll just use this from a strat perspective. So far, this inside, and I'll take this down for right now. So far, I believe this is last week's range here. We have a little bit of a look above and fail. So this little tiny, you know what? He had some tools here. I don't remember which ones they are.
By the way, I wanted to say this. You guys should like the stream. If you guys haven't liked it and you're enjoying this, what are you doing? I'm sure there's a lot more people in here that have liked it. And if you guys, I know some of you guys are putting tickers for paper to go in and take a look at after. Did you know that statistically we're 75% more likely to look at your ticker if you gave the stream a like and are subscribed?
True.
Just want to let everyone know that.
True. Anyways, so I'm just looking at, dude, what is going on? Something is happening. So I'm just looking at that right there for whatever reason. Something is happening to my... I don't know what is going on. This all needs to come down. I don't know what's happening with my drawing tools right now. Sorry, guys. This little tiny look above and fail at the moment over last week's high. So we're just kind of sitting there for now. This right here is going to be that like a really all-time break here. That's over 469 or 439.85. In the meantime, if I took last week's range and I just did like a very basic 50% extension or 50% retracement, that's going to be 631.56. If we're below 637, dude, whatever is happening, if we're below this, then I think that you could get into this area right there. Oh, that finally worked. That could be a basic pullback. That's going to line up just about to your 20-day simple moving average. But yeah, otherwise over that, then I think that it's possible that you kind of have like a little bit of a bounce, but you're really gonna like bounce up there. You'd have to see a breach, and then you could pull back in, and then you're gonna want to see something like that happen if you're gonna have some kind of breakthrough. That's like Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday. It might need to be. This could be that tower. And that doesn't even really play out till probably like next week. So it'll be a little bit harder. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise, it's going to be probably somewhere in that box. That would be your better kind of pullback zones for SPY. If I do just like an average weekly range, and let's just go back to my 30-minute. Looks like that's what we're failing right now. So this is the first fail of that. This is on 30 minutes, so it might be a little bit stronger. An average week's range to the downside. If we do break that area, so this being that area that I just kind of outlined right now. If we do break that lower end zone, then average week's range to the downside is going to be at 623.73. But we do have that session gap and that lower NFP area, really like right in here, and that prior week range, prior week low is right here. There's this session gap. I don't know that really comes into play. Not this week. That would be like a weekend kind of gap. But for right now, as in like today, as long as we're holding this pre-market low here, I think we're okay. That's the one that we have to hold though, in the meantime. But we're definitely not going to be going up unless we're over that pre-market high. We can bounce, but you'd have to see that kind of trajectory in the meantime. But SPY is the most important. You have to see that kind of pathing, if you will. If you don't see that pathing intraday, like throughout the week, it's just not in the cards. QQQ is going to be very, very similar. Phone's going off. We're closer to the top. If I did the same kind of exercise, just this is the August NFP here. I believe we're a little bit further from extension. Yeah, we're already at that 1.5x extension. So even this one, if it did pull back, this 569, that's actually a 2x doubling of this NFP zone. So even that, it's not that bad, but we're a little bit more extended on the Qs. I think CPI is going to be the biggest thing. A 3x extension is 578, breaking full structure continuation upside. This is with aftermarket hours on 579, 576.95. We barely nearly tagged that this morning in the New York session. Almost, not quite. Very nearly. And then average weekly range is actually going to put us at last week's session lows. Right here. If we go full downside, but we're a little bit extended, but doesn't mean like I still don't have any real breaks here. It's just so far just channel up. Channel's getting a little bit narrow, but even if it does come down to yesterday's low down here, that's just the low end of the channel. So it'd take a lot for this to actually break trend on the Qs. Right now, we're just testing prior month high, prior week high. All of that. I don't see anything major happening here right now. Worst case scenario, it's sideways. unless there's some kind of headline. This is the one I did want to look at, gold. Oh, look at this big stick to the upside. I'm not sure if this is the one that I want to go big long on right here, right now. It's possible. This is that gap down I was talking about earlier. I mean, a major gap overnight. For whatever reason, we're getting a big. What was the headline just now, Evan?
Trump says gold will not be tariffed.
I mean, that shouldn't create like that type of move. But maybe it's like the inverse. I like the gold trade in general. I think overall, this is still just in this epic consolidation. Yeah, it's just consolidation to me. Like is literally all it is. And this, if it's trade location, anything here, like anything in that area, any kind of trade location in that area for that type of move, I think probably works out in general. So I like the location of a long gold trade, even maybe a little bit lower. But it's got to be a little bit longer dated because this is a very long chart. I think this consolidation is like 6 months, 3 months. Pretty long, pretty massive consolidation. Yeah, 305. Yeah, I mean anything in that area. Where's 305? I mean, that's $2 away. I don't know what the big difference is between here and there. $2 isn't going to make or break my trade. But the target, I think, is going to be more important. So, like, if this is the consolidation, or really, like, if I want to be a little bit more conservative on a target, let's say it's just this near-term consolidation, the target, like, initial target would be to 325, meaning, like, okay, so you're coming down here, you breach that, something like that. And like, to be fair, all right, so let's say you get a little bit of a chop in between. You get this, and then you get this. That would be kind of the pathing, if you will. Maybe you get this. Maybe you don't. But so like if 305, the difference between here and here, see what I'm saying? Like the difference between 307 and 305, if this is my trade path, it's not going to make or break me. And in general, like I like it for a hedge. Right. Where else am I? All right, so that's the majors. Oh, oil, I did want to take a look at. So you said they're going to Alaska. So this is oil. All I'm looking at on oil is like down here, you have kind of like that area where oils come off of this longer standing base. If I pull this out, we say, okay, here's this consolidation. So, I mean, this is just crude trading range as a whole. I can say weekly, monthly. And this is just like basic trading. Like, is this is this a retest? I think it's possible, which means that like, all right, if I'm short any of these like oil stocks, maybe for a week or two, this might be kind of a bounce play. So like you're maybe Exxon, Chevron, those kind of things. Nothing crazy, but just more like range bound stuff. Just range bound as in to the top of the range. And that's it. Because this guy, I don't think is going to like break out. You're very much range bound for a while. But just to that area and then done. But from a trade perspective, that's really it. This could be a lot, percentage-wise. The guys were asking me about ETH this morning, so I will take a look at it. If they're, yeah.
I mean, that looks hot.
Okay. So,
looks like a level it could break down at, but.
Well, so it's been sideways for a while, to be fair. And it was here. And there was, and so and just for context, this is where we were coming from. I think we were here, and then there was a full-blown breakdown. So ETH is coming out of, like this area was full-blown breakdown, and you were actually retesting. So I don't know if you know, like trading styles, things like that, because of the way this was coming from, or coming out of, this whole shenanigans, this was a full-blown breakdown. And then this essentially was like a retest of said broken downtrend, which should have possibly taken it to the gulag. This is 2000. Could have. See all this pivot, 2000. And I can bring this over here. This is 1400. Big support, 1400. Cool. Happens to also be right where it bounced off. So seeing it bounce off 1400 in 2000 or in April makes sense to go back up to retest the bottom of this downtrend. That's just tactical trading. That makes sense. Seeing this 2100 get saved oddly locks a higher low, and you'd think, okay, well, it actually potentially goes into consolidation. Enter Tom Lee and everybody else, and the stable coin, and at this point in time, enter the stable coin. This is late June, thesis, and all the crypto treasuries, etc., and the whole thesis. This thing started actually right around here, April, but it got popular like right in here. But because of the way this started as like a full-blown breakdown, I think this whole thing just provided the liquidity to potentially make this the breakout that it is, which now it's slingshotted. So this top and this all-time high has broken, which is a trend line, and I'm not big into trend lines, but essentially that 4K number, 39, it's not 4K to the penny, but it's about 39. Holding that is a bigger deal than you would think. It's more constructive. Is it necessary that it holds it? It's not. A bounce like this would be super bullish, but can this pull back all the way down to 35? Yeah, it can. Any kind of like consolidation in this area like this, though, would kind of put this in like a holding pattern for a bit. chop in this range until it ultimately breaks back out. So this is possible. If you don't want to hear it, sorry. But this kind of scenario would build a net new investor base at the same time. So it's constructive if you did see something like this. Maybe not what anybody wants to hear. They want to hear it just go straight to the moon. But this happened very fast. If you're going to see Ethereum mature, this actually would be super constructive, very long term, when you think about it. So seeing something like that would be really constructive. Does it have to happen? No. Can it happen? Yeah, for sure. But I think the question would be, where does that put it? It puts it about 67. Puts it about 67. And maximum, yeah, 60. Any way I slice this, it puts it about 67 to 68 end of year, roughly. Anywhere from 55. There. With a possible squeeze higher, roughly, for my crew that were asking me if it stays over there. That's what it has to look like. All right. Yeah, it has not, but that's what the rest would look like, and that would be a constructive rest. Does it have to rest? No, it does not. Because if anything, crypto is like the rawest form of supply and demand. It is the rawest form. And if demand there's been no demand for a very long time. And all of a sudden, demand is showing up. So it does not have to rest. It just doesn't have to. So it can just continue on, and it does not need to rest. Just to be fair. Yep. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like absolute raw supply and demand. No circuit breakers. No, none of that. If they're selling, it's dropping. If they're buying, it's flying. That is crypto. All right, guys. Evan, you get first dibs. Request.
Let's go with Uber. I want to hear your thoughts on Uber.
Oh, shit. I'm still alive. Uber is squeezy this morning. So Uber got hit by kind of a funky. So Uber's been like the quintessential anti-Tesla trade more recently. It goes up when Tesla has a bad day. It goes down sometimes when Tesla has a good day. I know why I'm lagging right now. What's going on? So Uber this morning. So last Friday, as my screen's trying to refresh, last Friday, Tesla got robotaxi approval. I think it was in Austin. And Uber's been testing this like 95-ish level, 93.70, just this prior high. This is actually a quarterly high, about 95 right here. And it's toying with this 20-day and 50-day simple moving average. I'll just throw on a 4-hour chart. It's a little toppy right here. This morning, we'll see. So this morning I took a shot, I think pushing over up and through the 20 and 50-day SMAs. Wow, this is a very glitchy trading view. This is not my internet. I think this is definitively trading view. Trading view has been very glitchy lately. So like this moment here, super tight. SMAs right here, 20 and 50. So push down, pop up like a beach ball, come back down and retest them. 94.21 is that quarterly high right here. You got 1, 2, possibly 3 shots at it. If she can crack through, I think right now she's going to take another shot. But it has to hold what we would call like a pre-market high. So that is going to be $90.18. It's well above it at the moment. For now, there's a fair value 92 and 92.70 from Friday's headline, Tesla headline, that she's filling. I say she is filling literally right now. So that's in the process of filling. You're kind of like in this fair value gap. So I think right now that's probably in the cards from a short term kind of possible pop, as long as this is over here. And this setup is pretty squeezy at the moment. So near term, you can get some pretty good payout. I think you could get a pretty good payout if that continues higher. But you got to call the dogs off if it goes under like 90 and a quarter. Otherwise, it just goes sideways and it needs to like consolidate some more. Or it can just go lower, because this can squeeze either way. If it goes below this, it's going to back down. All right, next. Oh, and if it gets over that, then it's clear skies. Blue skies. You got another one?
I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say. What do you think I'm going to say
Apple?
before I say it? Yeah.
All right, so just now over the 20. The box is Liberation Day. This is wild, right? So like, I mean, not the 20, the 200. So this white box, this is Liberation Day, the trade war zone. That's what we call it. I mean, this is the craziest candle ever. So like, for context, Microsoft, here's Microsoft, the trade war zone on Microsoft. Where is it? I think it's like way down here. Way down there. 420s. Or like on, I don't know, Amazon. Yeah, this is trading view, dude. Trade war zone on Amazon. Amazon's coming down a little bit lower. But it's like 200. Meta. Oh, you're way over it on Meta. Not even kind of close. Trade war zone Meta. 600. 590. Like nowhere near. Right? So Tesla. Let's all need this in a little bit. Tesla, 305, trade war zone. So back to Apple. Closest one to it, just barely over it. And when I said this morning, the little ping, I got to drop down to a 30. Not that it means a whole lot, but that little teeny tiny wick into 225. So it's 225.54, 225.50. That's a retest into the trade war zone. I mean, I just like, that's it. So as of Friday, is the first full day out of the trade war zone, or first day that Apple has actually traded out of the trade war zone. Today, it's like, here's a blip on the radar back into the trade war zone for the first time in like who knows how long. Well, you could count how long, but that's a retest. Does it go back in? I don't know. This red line right here, curve red line on my screen, that's the 200-day simple moving average. 214. There is a small kind of what do we call it, like gap, session gap. I'll just draw a white line straight across. Evan knows. So 215 is that prior resistance that he was talking about earlier, right here, this whole area. A couple little wicks right there, and just like this explosion out through, pullback, and then poof, gone. That created a bit of an area on my screen here that you might be able to see. Oops. One day I'll get better at these draw annotation stuff, I swear. Overnight, that was that first like intraday here. Tim Apple presents this. How did anybody find out how big that, like how many pounds that gold bar glass stand was that he gave to Trump? I don't know how big that was.
It didn't look that heavyweight the way he was holding it.
It did too. It was two hands. He was like, here you go. It looked heavy to me. Oh. Anyways, but it creates this little overnight session gap up. Didn't cross through the 200 that day, but intraday follow through, or the next day, kind of like chop around 200 and then explosion right through. And today it's like just a little blip on the radar, retest of that trade war zone. And look, here we are in Apple. I'm not a big news guy, but listen, how many days? You got 1 day, 2 days, completely sideways. So day 2, day 2 sideways, right? Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 1 explosion, day 2 sideways. We're just barely on day 4. I mean, where are the sellers, guys? Are you saying that the sellers are here? Like, oh, they're going to sell it off. We have 4 days and a weekend. 4 days and a weekend. Where are the sellers? I'll tell you this much. 4 days and a weekend, there are no sellers. Your like embarrassing dip just was a small little retest of that trade war zone. I think this is the best buy in the freaking market. Sorry. Talking heads, whatever, are going to talk as much shit as talk as much as the crap as they want about Apple, but like, look, look, Oscar. Sellers are everywhere in all the software sectors for sure. They are.
Paper gains. We actually have an Apple event coming up too. iPhone event is now like a month away. It loves the run up into it. Now that event could be the top. It could for a little bit. Nice run up though, maybe.
But like, all right. So 4 days, $3 trillion, right? And we are 10%. I'm just saying there was a sideways day, day 4 sideways. There's been every opportunity to sell this off. I do have a soundboard. It's just not really hooked up. Look, I promise it is hooked up. It's over here. Can you see it? Does this work? Son of a... Did that work?
Yeah, it did.
But anyways, look, nobody's selling this thing. That's what I think is true. That's okay. So that's what the chart's telling me, is that they have had every opportunity to sell this. But what's happening here is that there are no sellers. There are nothing but dip buyers. And so instead of people selling this, they're not. They're buying this dip. And this is a buy from a chart perspective. So don't think it's anything else but that, because there's nothing good priced into this, at least from a technician's perspective. From a technician's perspective, there's nothing about this that says there's any weakness here. Period, end of story. And that even if weakness does show up, it's getting instantly bought. So I think this is the easiest money for now, unless something else changes. Look, it's a Trump market. Day 4, they had the opportunity to sell it here. Maybe they sell it. But then the question is, like, for me, it's like, okay, well, sure, let's say they sell it off. But do they sell it off from 250 to 230? What's at 227 now? I mean, does that really matter? Or do they sell it off from 275 to 250? What's at 227 now? I don't know, right? Or do they sell it off from 250 to 245? I mean, I don't know. But they're not selling it off in any substantial matter right now. And I think it was already underowned from a hedge fund perspective as it is. So it's just getting the bad news priced out of it. And I don't think, to your point, there's an event coming out. I think there's a lot of large funds are a little bit offsides in terms of I think it's underowned at the moment because of how much negative talk there was out there at an institutional level, not a retail level per se. Maybe retail level, I don't know. Squeeze if it breaks 230. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I guess you guys want to know that stuff. I mean, I guess it is a technical show. It's going to become one of my largest positions very soon. My current position is 250s for January. But I'm like, well, I could see this getting to 275s. So I think the next struggle. So I just have to go level to level. Right now it's at a pretty key point. And it's not like it's gone anywhere substantially either. So just this consolidation, I think, okay, 230s for sure, but 245s. I have 250s for January. I think that's well within reason. The top end of this range does kind of put you right around that 235. I'm just going to do a little something. Yeah, I mean, if there's good news priced in, if this gets over the top, good news being priced in is 300s. That's crazy. I mean, that's too far too fast by next, like Q1, Q2. But in the meantime, yeah, I mean, in the meantime, this says 235 up to 240s for the next stop. So 235, which is here, and we fill in that last move. So we're over this hump. Right here. And this becomes that support again, which oddly was like, okay, with that blip, it oddly aligns to that same blip. And then where that last resistance was is that 235. So trajectory pathing wise, like any dips go back into here. And then as it can get, if it can get through here, then the next kind of area ends up being up here in the 245. So then that goes through. Okay, cool. Then the next trading range looks like that. So that those are the two. So 235, 220, 220s to 235. And if we get to that, then it's 235 to 250s. Hence my January 250s. So those are the two blocks that I think it has to get through. But we'll see. Yeah, it's gone a bit, but I'm not seeing. I'm still constructed. I'm just not seeing them sell it yet. And I think that people were just caught off sides or then shocked a bit, like because everybody's like, "Oh, it's gonna sell off. It's gonna sell off." But I'm watching this and I'm like, "Where are they? Where are the sellers? Where are the sellers? They're not showing up." I'm like, even right now, it's like, where are the sellers? Because I'm a little bummed because I would like to buy more and I'm not getting an opportunity. It's bum. I'm bummed. Because if I really had the opportunity, I would love to buy it in larger size somewhere around here. But I'm just not getting it. So in the meantime, I think it's fine. I just think that, like, dude, somebody's being a little too greedy. They're not letting it come down. And it's irritating because I'm not getting a better dip. That's the truth. Yeah. So like, I think this I would so at this point, because they just keep buying it and I own it. I have an options position. I'm frustrated that they're not letting it come down. So it's like daily DCA at this point. But like I said, it's literally this point, 225. I guess it would have to be the 200 day, but like with the larger dip buy at 215. And the truth is, like, here's what's going to happen. If I do get this type of opportunity, so it would have to be smaller, still small, but large. If I do get this opportunity, it's probably not going to feel good. And the talking heads are going to be like, see, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. But that's the moment that I have to be like, all right, well, I believe that I just have to go with it, right? Because that's just what it's going to have to be like. That's what it says. But I'm not even getting that. Like, I'm not getting it. You got it. You got it for like half a second, but it was after hours or in the pre-market, one of the two. And I was just like, really, guys, really? For like half a second, you had it. And it was in the morning time. Like, you had it for like half a second right there. The sideways action. Yeah, half a second. And I'm not that fast. It was like, boom, that was your opportunity. That's like Tesla level opportunity. Like, it gave you the opportunity for like 10 seconds in the morning once. And then it was instant bot twice. Every day it was like Instabot opening print, Instabot opening print, Instabot opening print. Really? 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row. So that's how they're doing it. And it's kind of irritating. Yeah. So somebody's being really greedy, and I just kind of wish they would stop. Because you know me, I like to buy options at the close, not the open. This is not options. This is just clearly somebody just buying equity, daily DCA in the morning, right out of the gate. I'm like, really? So yeah, it's gone a bit much. I'd like to see it chill. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. Who knows? But 4 days in a row, heavy opening print buying, including today. Is it you, Evan? They want to know.
I am on leverage margin. I'm 1 trillion behind it. No, I do have some calls right now though. 230 919s that I've held for a while. It's looking nice right now.
Yeah.
But it has not been me.
So hopefully it comes down a little bit. I mean, I didn't say hopefully. I don't know.
I wouldn't want to see it break below that 215 level.
215?
213, whatever it is. Maybe you get a nice wicker there.
Yeah, they've just been so aggressive out of the gate. I'm like, oh man. All right. So I'm sorry for my rant, guys. I just yap.
It's great. Apple, it inspires passion. What a great company. Global brand.
Yeah. I just, you know, it just went so fast. It just took everybody off. Like the 220 move, I was just been waiting. And it was so choppy. But who knows? All right. I'm just going to scroll up a little bit. Mr. Pick. Stop that. It's all natural, baby. Let's see. It's funny. So is AltCoin. August is weird. It was like August normally is not altcoin season. That's why it's like so weird. Yeah, that's what's going on. That's why I was like, well, they're so low. Can I do Target, Home Depot? So retail sales is going to mess with a lot of these things. Target has been choppy, to say the least. Super choppy. Okay, so this TradingView is doing this thing where it's like lagging on me for whatever reason. August 20th, I think, is fine. So this part of this like pre-earnings run up. So normally like 2 or 3 weeks before earnings, you might get a little bit of a pre-earnings run up. If I think a bit of a not requirement is like one of the qualifiers, if you will, is like that they need to have, I want to say qualifiers, but like for that to work really good, it would be best if they had good earnings beforehand, which Target did not have. I think part of Target's issue right now is that people are really concerned about their execution, their ability to execute. I will say that Target, like, you know, I'm a dad. Dude, you guys don't see this, but like, let me see. I will share something with you from image this weekend. This weekend I went to Target. And can you see this?
Oh, very cute.
So my boy was like, I don't usually even bring the stroller anymore. So we just put him in the cart. But he was like, I guess it was nap time. So having the hardest time sleeping. But like I put him in I had to put him in the cart. He was like not having it, but this is like Target. So I go anyways. My point was, that we go to Target and I was on dad duty and I caved. I've seen some people do this, but I legit did this. Put him in the cart with I grabbed like a blanket or something and threw a stuffed animal in there. It worked. Nobody gave me like the double take either. I was shocked. But Target is like, it's really hard to get some help sometimes. MVP dad. Too funny. But I don't know. The execution at Target the market is kind of on edge with. You got to go there to see what I'm talking about. It's pretty cheap though. I will say that it's at a kind of critical turning point. Can you take a shot at it? You could. It's at a critical point ahead of earnings. It's real shaky. So like, I think if it's back over 105, I would wait. I would give it a little bit. I know it's at the 20-day. If after CPI, so after tomorrow, targets back over 105, I think you could take the shot. It's still a little sketchy shot, but something like this. And I would have to see it continue its trajectory ahead of earnings. But between now and then, you might not get a lot of juice out of it. And you get like a couple bucks into 107s. Yeah, so it's a hard call ahead of earnings. It's a harder call. It's an okay spot. You just really don't want to see it get below this volume shelf, because if it does go lower, like lower it is, and it's 100s in short order, because it could gap down on you if they're concerned about execution and holding ahead of earnings, because it did just have a quick pop, and it just made that same from this exact spot, right? 2 days or a couple days, it makes that round trip. Like, it just did that. So going long under 100 is probably an easier route back into that area. So that's my only caution here, is that it's at a bit of a pivot, because if it fails literally at this level, the flush sub 100 is pretty violent. Like, this is in one.
Paper.
That's 2 sessions. Yeah.
Trump extends China tariff deadline 90 days.
There you go.
CNBC.
There you go. Home Depot. I actually like. So Home Depot, I actually like a lot. So just over the 200-day here. I think we're closer to rate cuts than not. The only thing is that, so they have earnings next week, not this week. We've had a bit of a run up. We're right at a pretty key pivot. That's 393. We had a early morning pop, didn't quite extend over that last one. So you have a teeny tiny double top. I think it could take another run at it. You won't know until you're over 388 for sure. So over 388, it does take another run at this 390 plus level. And ultimately, like, this little neckline of the prior head and shoulders, let's say pattern. So head, shoulders, breakdown. This is that neckline. So if it gets over this, then for sure you're into that 410 kind of level. But that's your pivot for now. But between now and then, there's a pretty strong base here on Home Depot. It's actually pretty constructive. If you're with us, like in the 350s, if you picked up equity down there, you're finally over the 200-day simple. You get a bit of a consolidation ahead of earnings, but like I said, I think this Home Depot coming into summer or coming out of summer, this is a pretty good season for Home Depot. But yeah, I think they're coming out of the muck for sure. This pattern, by the way, you don't need to worry about anymore. That pattern is full. Pattern is full, meaning like this consolidation. If you don't know how these work. This consolidation has played out, and that is complete. So the pattern is full on the head and shoulders, completed. Now you just deal with this here, which now you're out of the downtrend also. Walmart, Costco, and Walmart, very similar. These are also kind of like in breakout mode. So I can just take this near-term consolidation on Walmart here. Over a quarter, that red line here is a quarterly high, but just on Walmart, this near-term consolidation, you got a little bit more 105s. It's not a huge mover, but that was a big breakout. I'm not sure on what headline. China tariff extension is going to help a lot of these retailers for sure. But yeah, you're well on your way. As long as you're over 103.50, then 105 should be your next stop. I don't know. And you are over this fair value. Yeah. So you should see 105s soon, which means that this 109 is in play. Just under 110. This is 110, but that's your full extension of this consolidation right there. See how it's doing this? Dude, I hate that it's doing that to me. And 109 is just under 110. Costco is like samesies. Costco's, man. Right off these lows, 94 and changes. This guy looks like 1055s incoming. And you got to get over 990s first. Oh, sorry, that wasn't on the list. On, this is going to be earnings. Tesla, you got a good one. So I'll do Tesla as a pretty detailed one, and then I'll give you one that I'm watching, and then I'll call it. So Tesla is Tesla chart, I have charted for years and years and years and years and years. I'm going to take all these things off really quick. So just using SMAs for just a moment. SMAs as in simple moving averages. These are extremely tight, right? So blue, white, red. You don't really need to worry about the purple. Purple is the 200-week simple moving average. So I'm going to go one step at a time. So just using these simple moving averages, very, very tight, meaning they're very close together. Hopefully you guys can see them. When your simple moving averages are this tight together, that means that you're about to have a very explosive move. For context, here's very tight together. Tesla, simple moving averages. Can you guys see this okay? Is it coming out pretty? I feel like this is not going to come out very good.
It's a little tough to like see the actual fine numbers, but like you can see the chart.
You don't need to see the numbers. I just want to, is that thicker? This is, I think, as thick as I can get them. All right, that should be better. But so like they're all very tight together. Let's say right here. Similar time and moment in time where they were very tight together, they start to widen out. So when I say tight together, I'm talking about the distance between the three of them is very tight together. And then as the distance between the three of them begin to get wider, you get very large price action moves. The distance between them very close together as they start to widen out, very large extended moves. Tesla, this is like 266 to 139. This is a moment in time here where I think this is as tight as they've ever been. Like this literal moment in time right here. This is 289. And as the distance like that's as tight as they've ever been, as far as I know. And then the stock went 289. The distance between them expands, and you go to $100. So my point is, again, the distance between them, very small. As the distance expands, you go from $212 to $420. You understand my point? Like, however you see it, very tight together. Here, $16. The distance widens out, $62. Whatever the context is. Here now that you see the context, the distance is extremely tight. And the setup with the price currently, as it is now, over these three simple moving averages, is as long as the price stays above these three simple moving averages, the setup is setting up for something that could be an extended, possibly violent move. And when I say extended, we have to think of how much time we're talking about. So from here to here, we're not, I don't know that we're really talking about trading so much as we are talking maybe even investing. Like this is August 2024 to December. So 6 to 9 months, I think, is more appropriate, right? So like December 2023, April 2024. We're talking September 2022 to January 2023. So yeah, 3 to 6. So an extended move. How's that? This would be July 2021, November 2021. This is a swing trade type move. Extended move, multi-month. It's a multi-month type of move. So one of my setups that I look for on a pretty regular basis, and I'm using a 4-hour chart right now. I have no drawings here currently. I'm going to turn on one set of indicators. So for now, so the yellow bar is here. This is going to be a monthly bar. So a monthly candlestick, meaning if I turn on my monthly candlesticks, now I'm just looking at a monthly candlestick. I'll turn off my simple moving averages. For now, the monthly candlestick is green. As long as it's over 336, 335, 339, sorry. If you guys come from other shows, like if you watch Amit shows, for a long time, I've always said 335 is going to be the major pivot. I'm going to stick with that. So 335 on Tesla is the pivot for Tesla. I know it's had a good day today. Today is one day. I'm talking about a potential multi-month swing, multi-month move on Tesla. I don't really care about today's $10, $15, $20. I think the setup here on Tesla is, yeah, there's earnings, but it's probably one of the bigger ones in the market from a multi-month perspective. So I am drawing some lines here. So I still have those orange ones on. If this is still to be, so this red line is at 335 right now. It's not quite out of the weeds. It's right into that prior resistance. So prior resistance meaning like this pivot area here. I'm going to pull this back just a little bit. And this is a more detailed chart because this deserves a little bit more detail explanation to me if you're going to talk about something that's possibly multi-month. This volume shelf right here, this is going to line up to about 340, the 320 area. And this is that consolidation here. So this moment that Tesla's sitting in, or this, we're going to call it like a volume shelf. This is about 340. If it comes back and that red line is 335, thereabouts 336, if it's now broken out of this very near term consolidation, here's the near term consolidation. It just happened this morning. So if it holds this area, I think it's on. I say on, like the trade could be, I think it's already triggering. And it's been kind of wishy-washy. We'll see. This would trigger like a January swing, like sustained move. And I think it's to like 600s, like a doubling. I'll measure it in just a minute. But see this area right here? It's a big dill, no pickle resistance. So if it can get through on this push, this is bigly. So if we see this, and even like this, boom, and you're off. This is a session gap here. This first move on this consolidation is to 450s, period. Yeah, it is. Okay, so that's 660. So we already know that this near-term consolidation has been broken already. And then we've gotten a pretty solid consolidation here, 91 days. So this is kind of what we're looking at. I just put the targets here. Let me just make sure Trading View didn't do this again. Regular, scale, cool. It is what it is. All right. Mm-hmm. Are you with me, Evan?
Knock twice if you're with me.
Yeah. So it is what it is. This area is key that we're going through now. On the bottom of my screen, there's a little oscillator here. I don't want to go through a whole lot explaining it, but this signals a bit of a squeeze also that's happening at a pretty key pivot. So first point is happening now. I think if we get the pullback and it holds here, that's cool. The next spot is 363. That could chop a little bit, but then there's a big move up into here, pathing. Oops. I'm not really sure. This is earnings. This could all happen, and then you're now all of a sudden dealing with this whole area. Let me see. That we haven't dealt with in like a really long time. So this area here is 480 to 410. I don't know if you can see like where'd my thing go? If you can see like these little volume shelves here, there's another one way up here. If we can get through these two, the next shelf is like pretty heavy. So like we can get through, where's my drawing tool? Click. These, it's very thin. So all this is really, really thin. So getting through this right here, I think it could happen like pretty quickly. So this could be a very quick move. Blink of an eye quick. And then all of a sudden you're chopping in this area. And then you're all of a sudden at earnings. And just saying, this would be a measured move into the 600s. From here to here, this being that consolidation after this breakout. If that's the whole thing, I'll just take this right here. Right here would be that first stop. Right in here. And of that one. And this initial stop. So everything lines up. So it would be this. Sorry, this is like full, and I'll do this in the server. I will plan this full thing out. This would be like a surgical strike. Sorry, if you're not familiar with, we do this thing in our server called surgical strikes, where we have planned trades that come out, and we plan trades before they happen, with targets, entries, how we trade them, contracts, and everything. Like that's kind of like one of our things. Anyway, I don't want to go into that. I might do something like in here. Anyways, I'm not going to get too deep into this right now because I got to do some others. I'd have to go a little bit deeper in here, but I'll plan this for our group in the server, and I'll path this like super fully and get this completely planned out for us. But I think this is going to be my next like big, like, I don't know, like quarterly type trade. But this, as long as this goes through based on our setup here and that 335 pivot with this technical squeeze happening, along with a lot of other confluences, by the way, where we landed, where we're coming off of this little double bottom, been following this chart for months. I think that the conditions are now setting up for a pretty massive sustained move if the right things can happen. I mean, finally, Elon's out of the spotlight politically, as long as he can stay out of that. There are a lot of things that do have to go right, but the conditions are possibly there. The conditions are there technically. Whether or not the other conditions are there, stay there, is another story. But I think we'll see on this one. But anyways, keep this in mind, and I'll leave you with one more that I posted about. I think Palo Alto Networks is interesting here, right at like a pretty key pivot here today. It's a watch, right? I think it's a good spot. It was coming off the lows. I want to see it get a little bit higher. I'm thinking that this is starting to base out right here. Come on, TradingView. Sorry, if you couldn't tell, I'm very interested in Tesla right now. It's like one of the biggest watches, but it's not it's not something I need to absolutely rush into. This blue line is that weekly low right here. And this is lining up for me on a lot of different levels, but mostly it's this kind of area here and this general volume shelf right in there. What I need to see from Palo Alto, and I have earnings, coming soon. So I need to have this happen soon. This is next week. Really, this needs to really get over 172. At minimum, this needs to get over 169. So I don't have a lot of time. But I think this is mostly de-risked ahead of earnings. We'll see. I own this one. I just added to it equity-wise on that little dip. Hopefully, I'm not wrong, but we will see. Anyways, that's it. I like the spot on Palo Alto. It's taken a bit of a hit. Security's not having the greatest time. Thank you, Fortinet, and software overall has been a little bit of a rough ride, but we shall see. That's all I got, boys and girls. Evanito has held he's hung in here the entire time. I can't believe that. Look at you, dude.
I enjoyed it. I got to learn some stuff. I appreciate you, Paper. If everyone did enjoy the stream, you guys aren't subscribed to the channel wherever you're watching this. If you didn't like Paper's live stream, you're missing out. Paper, I appreciate you having me.
And then I think I got, if you're not in the server, you can hop in. We got a little free section. Here, I'll drop this. There's a free section of the server too. I'll pop this up there. You can come in. We post watch lists every day. We post a weekly trade plan. And if you, for whatever reason, are jonesing for some Miss Cleo, Miss Cleo gets posted out there also. I don't usually post this on Twitter or anything like that, but hop in. There's a little free chat section. It's not where I post my trades, but there's a lot of free juice that we give you just by hanging out. And you can chat with the members too. But hang out. And maybe Evan will pop in too. But appreciate you guys. Give the stream a like. Make sure you're following Evan. If you're not doing that, I really don't know what you're doing. But appreciate everybody for hanging out. Beautiful.
Have a great one, team.
And Evan has beautiful hair.
Oof. I won't lie. The hair is not one of the strong points.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everybody for hanging out. I will check you on the next one. Adios.